Hey everybody, welcome to Still Real to Me. Joseph shaking his head. I hit the wrong clip, Joseph. My fault. Anyway, Joseph Hughes, the Rabbit Beaver is on here. QB1, Randy Cunningham. I'm the Howard Cheney with our special guest tonight. The, let me emphasize that again, the most successful man in the NWA, Carson B. Drake. Carson, thanks for joining us tonight, man.
You were welcome.
It's an honor and a privilege to have you on here, and
I know.
just having somebody on here that makes a little girl cry at a wrestling match. I mean, it's well worth having you on here.
She, we can get into that, but she kind of led herself to that point. But it's whatever.
Absolutely. Joseph's still shaking his head. Joseph, do we need to get you some Flexol? Because it seems like you're going to be shaking your head a lot tonight. QB1, ask questions, buddy.
Look, I'm just honored to have a Carson Drake on the network. We're very lucky to have you today, sir. Thank you for
I know.
a little time. Carson, I wanted to start with your Exodus career and where you started. Let's go back to that. I know you're an exceptional athlete. I thought about today, are you wrestling's version of Patrick Mahomes, the young, successful?
I would say yeah, but like Patrick Mahomes isn't like that good. I also don't watch football. I don't watch anything. I don't do. So I'd say I'm more of this generation's Stefano Riccio, which he's an Italian. He makes briefcases, and they're probably the best in the world. So I'd say I'm like that version of wrestling.
Us commoners wouldn't know that term, but I accept that's beyond our understanding. Uh, when I see you, I often learn facts. Uh, what's your background? I know you're a Californian and
Yeah.
you're just knowledgeable to us.
Um. Well, I'm from Huntington Beach, California. Also lived in Long Beach. Parents also have a home in Venice, and then there's some other, just a lot of the West Coast. I won't say what high school I went to. It's private, the school, but also the fact of where I went. But played, did water polo for a while. We had a surf team. It wasn't really a team, but it was more of a class. Surf class. Did lacrosse, volleyball for a very short period. Wrestled, played football for a very short period, realized that football was stupid, stopped playing it, got back into wrestling and lacrosse. Uh, there's a couple others, but not as important as, water polo, lacrosse, wrestling.
Were they influence in the water polo world or the wrestling world that brought young Carson Drake to the forefront of pro wrestling?
Um, I would say the fact that water polo is the hardest sport to play ever. Uh, not even a question. I played golf too, but that's more hard mentally, which is why successful people tend to play it. And I know that there's usually kind of a dichotomy of people that say stuck up rich people play golf. It just happens to be the fact that you have to be smart to play golf. But with water polo, it's like playing football and wrestling, but in the water. And also, you can't just play it at every single school. So it was just kind of cool to do something that not everybody else could do,
Right.
and be really, really good at it, which is kind of the reason why I got into wrestling. I don't need to do professional wrestling, but it gives me some a sort of satisfaction to know. There's a lot of guys out there who I feel like really stake their whole lives on this. And I mean, the old say, they miss birthdays, they miss anniversaries, they miss funerals, whatever. And it feels kind of good. It's one of those things where I don't try half as hard as a lot of these guys, but I make triple the money. It's like a gosh, who's the guy? There's a lot of guys that which we'll get to at NWAJCP, and they're clawing. I mean, I accidentally walk back into the locker room sometimes, and I'll see dudes, and they're trying their hardest, and it makes me laugh.
Joseph, we'll come to you after this question. We spoke at the latest JCP event where you did take the JCP heavyweight title away from one Silas Mason and a triple threat with Dalton McKenzie. And I asked you how you were doing, and you answered me, "This is too easy. You don't understand." What does the words "it's too easy" to you mean when you say it to me as a reporter?
I feel like a lot of people talk about how difficult wrestling is. It's not. I mean, it might be difficult for like people that shouldn't be doing it, but I've kind of came to it very easily. Um, Early on, maybe had some difficult things to figure out, but I figured them out pretty quick. I've also been taught by some of the best people in the world in professional wrestling, so that probably also made it easier. But you could have the smartest teacher of all time, but if you're trying to teach a rock, like it's just not going to pick it up. But
Granted,
it's too easy.
Joseph, I will give you Mr. Drake to ask some questions. And again, we are very privileged to have such an honored guest here on River City Media.
Carson, first and foremost, I want to go back a little bit with the NWA. I want to talk about how you became friends or associates with the Slime Balls. And what type of a dynamic is that with you?
Not that this has always been a weird one to explain, and that's why I love guys like Aaron Stevens, because they get it. My entire life, I feel like I'll get with when I was in high school, middle school, early college, whatever. Getting with people, women, friends, whatever it may be. There's this energy of, are they with me just because of who my parents are, the money, and not just me, which is not the easiest thing to kind of go through. And people just don't really get that. It's more of a judgmental thing. They think there's no problems that come with along, being successful, having a successful family. But there are things like that. So when it comes to people like the slime balls, who aggravate me to no end, I know that they are not friends with me for the money because they don't care about money. Obviously, look at them. I've tried. I got them suits. This is actually a real story. I got them suits. And the second that we left the tailor, after getting everything sized, they dropped them into a puddle of something. I don't know what it was, but they dropped them into a puddle of something, picked them up, put them on, wore them to an Exodus show. But it's that. It's one of those things where there's not, what's the phrase? You keep your circle small because you don't know who's actually in the circle. So with guys like the slime balls, it's like when you get a dog, the dog loves you unconditionally. It's not just loving you because you feed it. It loves you because it's just what they do.
Oh, come on, Carson. They were eating out of trash cans, out of Oscar the Grouch's trash can in Tampa a couple months ago. And you came along and decided to feed them. And I guess they got some sense of loyalty to you ever since that happened.
If that's what it is, that's what it is. But I know they're not, I know they're not there just for the financial gain of being friends with me. You know, I've tried to take them out. Me and Aaron have gone out to nice, God, what's the name of the restaurant? I won't say because I don't want people going to, but it's in Tampa. And I love doing tapings in Tampa because we get to go to this restaurant every time. And we try to invite them, but they don't have clothes that they can physically wear to it. And I know that they're not using me because they've never asked me to buy clothes so that they can go with us. So it's one of those things. They're good friends. They're good friends because I know they're not using me.
but they'll do anything for $1. They'll make you holler for $1.
They don't do it for money. They do it just because I have never given them a single cent.
I don't know, Carson. It doesn't seem that way when you're on camera with them. It looks like they respect you because of how you pay them and what you pay them to do for you.
I don't know if Aaron Stevens is paying something on the side, but I'm trying to think when the first time we met was. Gosh, what was it? I think it was at Exodus. I'm pretty sure. What were we doing? I don't even remember what we were doing, but I remember what it was. They used to have this really nerdy interviewer named Josh, and I had finished a match, and I think that we were all doing a backstage segment, and he started running his mouth to me after he had already ran his mouth to them, and I think they poured a jug of something on him. I don't know what it was, but it was yellow, and something about that really spoke to me. And it's almost like we're filthy rich. I think that's an apt term.
That's a good term. Let's move forward a little bit. Now, I'm going to throw a little salt in the wound here, Carson, and I'm sorry that I've got to do it, but somebody has to be the real interviewer here. We saw recently that you lost that television title to Brian Idol. Explain it a little bit to us about how you feel and what you're looking for in the days to come.
I didn't first off didn't lose it to Brian Idol. I cashed it in for a shot at the world title. And if you watch the match back, Tom Latimer cheated. So I went to Billy and I went to Joe Kazana and I went to Aaron Stevens and I said, hey, I think I deserve to have the TV title back, considering didn't lose it. Tom Latimer cheated. And they said, no, you're going to have to wrestle for it. And I said, fine, whatever, I'll do it. So they put me in a match with Brian Idol for the TV title. Not only did Brian Idol also cheat the same way that Tom Latimer did, when I went back again and asked for a shot again for the title that I didn't lose, that I relinquished, uh, they said no. So I'm going to go a different avenue in the NWA, but I can guarantee you the next time I wrestle Tom Latimer for the world title, I will be the world heavyweight champion.
Carson, I don't know how the viewers can trust you, especially when you want to beat up pastors like Pastor CeeLo at Exodus.
I don't. What does he believe in? I don't even understand exactly what his whole faith is. Yeah, we just wrestled at Exodus, and I told everybody we shouldn't. I'm still tired. First off, I have a briefcase. I don't have it here. It's with Aaron again. But I have a briefcase for a shot, #1 contendership for the NWA Exodus Midwest Heavyweight Championship. And I keep telling them I should just get a match with Dante. I don't even want to cash it in, but I will. But they put me in there with CeeLo and Bobby Slam, shut up. And they put me in there with CeeLo, a man who, I don't know what he believes in, but he must get Bobby Slam. That suit in your picture doesn't fit you. But no, CeeLo clearly does not have enough faith in himself, because if he did, he wouldn't have accepted the match first off. And
You choked him out.
I know.
Choked him out. And you about broke his neck. He left in a cast.
I know. It's insane. And you'd think for somebody who wanted to, stop being a pastor never even met her, who wanted to stop being a pastor and start being a wrestler, you'd think they'd learn the fundamentals of being able to reverse a sleeper hold, but he didn't. And in fact, and actually this is true, I started taking jujitsu. I'm already a blue belt. It's pretty sweet. And I learned that. And I've already claimed my first victim with it, which is crazy.
Speaking of victims in World League Wrestling, where you are currently the heavyweight champion, you
What a
faced
surprise.
one Camaro Jackson not too long back and defeated him. But some would say that's kind of a slippery little slope of a victory you got. What would you say to that?
I don't understand how it's slippery. St. Louis, it was dry. It was dry heat. It's weird. I said I was going to come in and I said I was going to beat him for the WLW title. So I came in and I beat him for the WLW title on the first shot. And I don't understand where the problems came from, but I continue to I keep doing that where I say I'm going to do something and then I just do it. And it blows people's minds.
It blew my mind, especially the way you won. I know that you're trying to avoid that and trying to push it to the side, Carson.
I did nothing except beat him. I beat him.
Oh, come on, Carson. Come on.
Do we have footage? No. Because I do. If you go to my Instagram, it's Carson_Drake_. I promise you the footage is there. He walks backwards, crushed him. 1, 2, 3. I celebrated. I did nothing wrong. I didn't pull his hair. He doesn't have any hair to pull. I didn't poke his eyes. I didn't cheat. I did nothing wrong.
Carson, you're going to sit here and beat up a pastor and then expect everybody to believe that you did absolutely nothing wrong and that you are just the smartest man, the wisest man, and the richest man, and the most successful man that the NWA has ever seen.
Yes, and here's how I'll phrase it. Sure, somebody from Camaro Jackson's past came out and got in his business. But you know what? That's not my fault. Okay? If Camaro Jackson cheats on his girlfriend and then his girlfriend keys his car and something happens in the midst of that happening, that's not my fault. You know what I mean?
No,
so
but
just
you like
because
this-
he's a bad person, and Moses, who used to be a friend of his, me and Moses talk now all the time, and Moses tells me that he really wasn't that good of a person, and it's always the people who Camaro said that this is all Moses's fault, but it's always the people who say stuff like that in relationships that are usually the ones that weren't listening the entire time. And Moses tells me stuff that if they were a couple, Camaro would probably go to jail. I don't know. I mean, it was almost an abusive relationship. And Moses left, and Camaro kind of made him leave. And now Moses comes back and just wants to talk to him. And it's my fault? Yeah, okay, all right. All right. I think
a little bit on that one, though, Carson.
I think what should probably happen is before Camaro Jackson decides to defend the NWA World League Wrestling Heavyweight title, he should probably get all of his personal business, figured out. Because when I go to the ring, I don't go to the ring with anything else on my mind besides the wrestling match. I don't burn bridges with other people.
Touche, Carson Drake. Touche. Because I think you were on the same page with somebody named Dalton McKenzie at NWA JCP, and it seemed like you burn a bridge there to get that gold, to get that heavyweight gold.
Burn a bridge with Dalton. I mean, Dalton have never been friends. He is probably the loudest and most obnoxious person I have ever met.
Next to Uncle Jack, right?
I can't. Okay, so here's my issue with Jack Vaughn, and then we'll get to Dalton McKenzie. My issue with Jack Vaughn is he sits in the back. He makes TikTok videos. Cool, dude. You and every 16-year-old do. And he expects everybody to think he's cool because he does that. Yeah, all right, buddy. Yeah, next time you get 1 million views on TikTok, you let me know about it and tell me how much money you made.
Hey, Carson, he's that close, baby. Just that close.
Yeah. But Dalton McKenzie, first off, if you remember, the Caldwell Cup tournament, I won the Caldwell Cup.
You did?
I beat Dalton, right?
You did?
So I should have wrestled Silas for the title in a singles match. And then Joe Kazana, first off, the president of the territories. I didn't vote for him. I don't vote in general, but Joe Kazana is such a terrible president of the territories. He almost made me vote for a woman. And the issue with that, and he does stuff like that where he just says, Dalton, you're just in the match now in a triple threat. Why? I want to know what's going on there.
Well, let's just say Dalton McKenzie may have had a claim, especially since him and Jack Vaughn aren't able to fight for those tag team titles that they were promised over 6 months ago.
I mean, why did that happen?
I think somebody tucked and run on them. I think they were called the Blockbusters. Do you remember that, Carson?
I don't know who the Blockbusters are. Oh, that's the British dudes. Yeah, I don't like them either, particularly. But, tag team champions.
Well, you just spoke about it a little bit. You said that you're not really a particular fan of one Joe Kazana. And do you think that those words will come to hurt you, especially going live and talking like this in front of thousands of people to hear those words?
You know what? I bet Joe Kazana will retaliate. And that's why I didn't vote for him. Because he's the type of person where somebody is just speaking their mind and he's going to go and attack them. I mean, let's pretend for a second that if somebody were running their mouth and then the president came and started punishing them for it, wouldn't everybody think that's kind of wrong? But Joe Kazana can do it. Yeah, all right.
Well, Carson, I think you have a point, and I think there's some other people who have pointed this out here recently.
No, you know what? I do have a point.
Plucky.
I think Dalton McKenzie, I think Jack Vaughn, I think AJ and KC are in Joe Kazana's pockets. I think Joe Kazana is giving them preferential treatment because there's no way Dalton should have been in that triple threat. Jack Vaughn shouldn't even be they shouldn't even have gotten a tag team match because let's not forget, he won that in a ladder match for tag teams. Dalton went in by himself, wasn't a tag team. So there's just consistent preferential treatment for Dalton. I want to know what Dalton and Joe have kind of in cahoots.
I'm going to say this, and I mean no disrespect to you, sir. Maybe Dalton makes the money for him. You ever think of that?
I just don't see how that's a thing because I am, but
I understand that. Now, we spoke about it a little bit earlier. We were talking about Wrestling for a Cause Chattanooga, and you were at Metrotham Con, and you got to defend your titles, multiple at Metrotham Con against AJ Kazana. Tell us a little bit about that, sir.
I mean, what else there to? I beat AJ Kazana. I was defending the NWA World Television title. I was also defending the NWA World League Wrestling title. I put them both on the line, and I beat AJ Kazana.
Is that what we're going to go with, sir?
I don't know. I wrestled Brian I relinquished the title, so clearly I beat AJ. Which, by the way, can we just remember who put AJ in that match? Again, it's back to Joe Kazana.
That's very true. That's very true. And I see where you're going with it. And I think Plunky mentioned it as well a couple days ago on his social media where he was talking about special preferential treatment to the boys, the Kazana boys. And I'm starting to have my eyes opened here a little bit, Carson. And I think that they're trying to stack the cards in their favor. And I think that they believe you're weaker prey than the Thrillbilly Silas Mason was. And they're trying to get those titles back into one of the Kazana's hands.
That doesn't make any sense. How am I weaker prey than Silas when I won? Not only did I beat Silas, I beat Dalton. So
Carson,
they're going to have to
use your mind to beat them.
They have to beat Dalton. They need to beat Silas, and then they can come fight me.
I don't think they could. I mean, I'm sorry, Joe. I apologize. I know I'm throwing this out there and I'm just throwing you under the bus. I don't think that they could beat the Thrillbilly Silas Mason. I don't think that they could have been put in a match, a three-way match like you were put in to win. But you had something on your side. You got that mind, baby. It's a miracle mind that you've got. And you waited till just the right time to strike. And not only did you strike, you capitalized.
3.9 GPA. What can I say? I'm not an idiot.
Very true. I'm going to throw it back up to Mr. Howie. Mr. Howie, you got anything, sir?
Yes, I got a few things. Mr. Drake, is it okay if I call you Mr. Drake?
Yeah, that's what a couple people call me.
Okay. It seems like to me when you enter high school, you quit a few sports, and I
I
look at
didn't
it.
quit I didn't quit a
No,
few
no.
sports.
Let me finish. Let me finish. It seemed like you quit a few sports because you were so much better than everybody else that they kind of pushed you out.
Let me think. I did. Trying to think of which ones I had lettered in. Lacrosse, I did all four. Wrestling, I did all four. Water polo, I did all four. And those are all different seasons of the year, which is great. The other ones, like golf, yeah, there were some small issues there. Whatever. Football, I just stopped doing it because everybody that played football was an idiot. Um, and I'll stand by the fact football is one of the dumbest sports out there. People who do it are stupid. What are we doing?
I guess when you're in high school playing all these sports, you probably got a room full of trophies by everything that you won.
My parents do. I don't keep any of that. I'm just not the person to show off trophies of what I've done. My parents keep them, and it's probably I don't want to say they have like a room, but they have a separate room in one of the houses. But yeah,
So let's get to, I want to touch on the high school a little bit. Let's go to your professional career now. Knowing that every time you go into a match, knowing that it's you against everybody and they're going to do whatever it takes to win, to beat you, how does it feel knowing that you got to basically have your head on a swivel for every match?
well, it sucks, and thank you, because I feel like whenever I go out there, I feel like the referee is against me. Um, I feel like the guy I'm wrestling is, I don't know why, but I feel like every time the guy I'm wrestling is allowed to break rules, that I would get yelled at for. And this happened in school all the time. I would get yelled at for something that some stupid other kid could do and not get yelled at for. And I never understood it. But when I'm in the ring, for some reason, when I do something, I get called out immediately. The other guy does it. They don't even get talked to.
Yeah. Mr. Drake, it's one of these things that if people would really watch you in the ring, they would say it's basically a handicap match every time you're in there because it's basically 2-on-1, 3-on-1,
Yeah.
everybody against you. I mean,
And I don't get it. I have to sit in my own area. First off, because small circle again, but I have to sit in my own area because people, I don't understand it personally. You could ask pretty much anybody. I'm a really cool guy. I give advice. I'm super nice. I'm funny. But for some reason, so many people just have this weird thing against me. I don't understand it.
Because you make children cry on a nightly basis. And you take away their joy of life.
I didn't know.
I'm sorry you're being treated like this, Mr. Drake.
Okay. What was the scenario? Give me the scenario.
Well, let's talk about Metrotham Con. There was a nice little girl that came to you and asked you for an autograph, and you said some pretty hateful things to her and made her cry.
First off, on that, she asked me, and I said, money. And she said, I don't have any. And I said, that's crazy. And I forget when did we start allowing for people to just get stuff? I don't if I came over to your I don't know, what do you call it, trailer, if I came over to your trailer and I asked you, hey, can I have your TV, the wind up, you would, and I said for free, you would go no. But I'm the bad guy because
First
I said
of all,
no.
it'd be the nicest trailer you had ever been in, Carson Drake. And you would even admit
I
that when you
don't
walked
know.
through. And
know.
secondly,
We've been to
if I
Dothan,
had
Alabama.
royalty like Carson Drake coming to my trailer park, there would be no abscess of people being around you to try to get stuff from you.
But again, this girl, I get it. She started crying. The issue I had with her is that they made the entire night about her. It wasn't about her. I was in the main event. She went again. It's like 7:30. They got her on the mic. She's a 6-year-old girl. What has she done to deserve to be on the mic?
She
Okay.
survived cancer.
So is
Have you
Jack
fought
Vaughn.
something like that? Have
Listen,
you ever fought something and got over something like that?
Yeah, I fought Silas Mason and Dalton McKenzie in the main
They're not
event of
cancer.
NWA JCP.
Oh, come on.
And I
Come on,
beat
Carson.
them. My aunt was a cancer, okay? She was born during August. But you don't see me walking out there and going, oh, check this out. Here's the thing. I went out there, and even though that little girl cried and everybody in that crowd wanted to kill me, again, I don't get it because they didn't get the whole story. I still beat AJ Kazana.
Potato, potato, Mr. Drake. Potato, potato. QB1.
Potato isn't a thing. Potato is something stupid people say. It's just potato.
I want to ask Mr. Drake what he did with the Caldwell Cup, which we haven't addressed with all your championships. I'm personally very fond of the Caldwell family and their legacy to wrestling in the state of Tennessee. You are the first Caldwell Cup winner.
I'm going to be the only Caldwell Cup winner because when it comes around next year, I'm probably going to win that one too. But the Caldwell Cup, it's actually really funny. I actually keep it. And Joe Kazana has to fly it in every time. And it costs him like $250. I could check it and just bring it myself, but I find it so funny when he has to pay the bill on that.
Do you also you were talking about Mr. Kazana's biased last event, JCP event? Did you notice that KC had a Mid-American Heavyweight Championship match with the man Jack Bond as the referee? AJ
kind of seems like they're stacking the deck against Jeremiah Plunkett, which, by the way, Jeremiah Plunkett, a 10 out of 10 wrestler, one of the best to ever do it. And they're going to stack the deck. I get why they'd stack the deck against Jeremiah Plunkett, first off.
Well, on the same card, AJ Kazana got a NWA World Junior Heavyweight Championship match off a scale that was provided before the weigh-in and wrestled Alex Taylor. Were both of those matches, in your mind, examples of what you call the Joe Kazana effect?
You know what? If AJ Kazana is a junior heavyweight, then my aunt has wheels and handles because she must be a bicycle.
Interesting. Hey, before we go any farther, there's one thing I wanted to ask you. Great points on both of that. Your appearance in the ring, your wardrobe that you wear in the ring. I find it reminds me of
stuff.
a young Roddy Piper also wore stuff like this in the San Francisco area. Were your designs made by designers, or was it something inspired by what other wrestlers had wore in earlier periods?
So Roddy Piper, overrated. But all my gear, Aaron Stevens knows a guy who does the design for my gear. And then it gets sent off to somebody else. They make it. And then it goes back to me. So all my stuff is done through. I don't like going over gear. It's weird. So this is funny. I found out, I guess I knew this was a thing, but it's really impractical. So most people, they buy clothes, they go to, I don't know where I don't know where.
I go to Belk.
Yeah. People go to Walmart or Target. I don't know. I just never have. It's always been a thing of like my stuff just gets delivered. So as a kid, I never went to a store. It got to me, and sometimes I would try it on, and then we would send it to not to the company. Or if we went into like a suit shop, we would go in, they would tailor it to me, and then I would leave. But I've never, I never like went shopping for clothes. There was always a person that kind of measured me, checked what was in style, and then it got delivered. Same thing with like Christmas trees. I found out like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, that people don't get their trees delivered and decorated.
I don't myself.
Yeah, people go and get them, which is I don't understand, because how do you get the tree in the car? But most people don't do that. We've always gotten it delivered, and it's either pre-decorated or somebody comes and we pay them to decorate it.
Mr. Drake, a question about Exodus Pro. I know it's a the beginning of the story, maybe there with you in this career in the NWA. Were they people that influenced your career at Exodus Pro, or spent extra time with a young Carson Drake as he prepared for his future in the NWA?
Early on, EC3 was one of those guys, and I think me and EC3 have a lot in common. We're both good looking. We're both in great shape. We're both horribly wealthy, as much as he won't admit it anymore. But and then it turned into Aaron Stevens, who we talk every single day. Uh, I kind of I sit under the learning tree of two of the smartest people in the world. But I would say EC3, Aaron Stevens have kind of molded me into what you see now in professional wrestling.
One last question, and then I'll go down to Mr. Howard. I want to go back to your high school career, like Howie had done earlier. That it's been said that for a normal person to look under the water in a water polo match would shock them by the violence and the contact under the water. Uh, is it that violent under the water in a water polo?
Okay, so it's actually pretty wild. I've seen guys drown. Um, you'd be surprised what you can do in water that people can't see from above, and that you can just get away with. Uh, it is again not only one of the most violent sports there are, because of the water. That's one of the hardest parts about it, and it really turns you into almost like a super athlete.
Mm.
Again, water polo, lacrosse, two hardest sports there are. But I also
Before I turn
recognize,
you over, you
I also found out, by the way, in where was it? We were in Alabama, I think. Water polo isn't a thing everywhere. I found that out.
yes,
I found out some people don't know how to swim.
yes,
Like, there are people out there that
yes.
don't know how to swim.
You
Before I
hang
turn
out
you over
with
to
two
Doug,
of them.
but
The slime balls know how to swim.
yeah, I
Oh,
question the
come
slime
on.
balls to swim. Well,
I
your
think.
face lit up under the water. Or do you enjoy the sheer contact and violence of a sport? Do you enjoy the violence of pro wrestling?
Yes and no. Uh, I hate getting hit. It's it angers me to no end. I will say the one thing that sets me off more often than not is when people touch my hair.
Mm.
That It's getting hit in the nose, and when people touch my hair. And I can't stay. One time, Tommy Slimeball, as a joke, we were in the back, and he just messed up my hair, and I broke his nose, and I felt bad, I guess, but it was fine. He didn't care. He rubbed it all over his face, fixed it. He's weird. He poured lemon in his eyes. Like, he took a lemon on Cooking with Carson. He took a lemon and squirted it into his eyes. So he doesn't care really about anything. But I can't stand it.
Joseph, I'm going to turn it over, but Mr. Drake, I think we've seen almost pleasurable, sadistic side to your personality when it comes to certain activities.
I think I keep it pretty even keel. I think I do pretty good at not losing my temper.
Yes, yes, sir. Joseph, will you take off with this conversation?
So you think you do pretty good at not losing your temper, Mr. Drake? Is that correct?
Yes.
How did you beat a pastor? What did you do to him mercilessly inside the ring? You about broke his arm, if I do recall correctly. I think it's because he touched your hair too.
If he touched a man's hair, he asked for it.
I didn't break. If you watch it back, I had him in a key lock, super normal hold. He got to the ropes. I let it go. And again,
I would watch what you would say here, Mr. Drake. His lawyer is watching, so you better watch what you say here. You had him in the key lock.
He was sweaty. And he's reaching for and he grabbed the rope. Yeah. And then as I let go, because the ref's counting to 5, and I let go at 3, and he pulled himself forward. And there are common things, okay? Like if you're in a chokehold, you're taught not to, go forward. You're taught to try to get your hands under it. And if you're in an arm bar, you're very obviously taught don't pull away because you're going to pop your shoulder out. It's not my fault that he's not educated in what you're supposed and how you're supposed to do it.
I'm going to encourage all the fans out there to go back to the YouTube page and watch the live territory showcase of NWA Exodus Pro Watch the Throne, starting at 2 hours, 12 minutes, and 53 seconds, where Mr. Carson Drake comes out and see exactly what happened. Because I'm telling you, you've been hanging around with some slimy people, and that's one of the slimiest things you've ever done inside the ring.
I didn't get DQ'd for anything I did.
Because he didn't see it.
The referee was right there. There are no rules against any of it, anything that happened. I didn't cheat that entire match.
The entire match, you didn't cheat not once.
No.
Okay, we're going to go with that. I'm going to let you slide on that one this time, Mr. Drake. But remember, in the future, it may not be Pastor CeeLo you might be facing. It might be EC3. It might be Cristiano Ronaldo. It could be
EC3 3 times.
It could be the real Jaguar Warrior, Dante Casanova. So
isn't it crazy? I don't know. And okay, another conspiracy. Isn't it weird that EC3 continuously protects Dante Casanova? I have tried to cash in 4 or 5 times, and every single time one person has came out and saved Dante, and I don't know why he continuously tries to protect Dante, or why you would want a champion that needs to constantly be protected like that. Personally, Dante Casanova, even though he's a Jaguar, I think what's the phrase about trying to bite something that's too big?
Very true. Very true.
He keeps trying to do that. And I don't know why EC3 keeps getting involved in it, but he does.
Well, Carson, your eyes might be bigger than your stomach on this one. I'm just going to fair warn you, because Dante Casanova does not take lightly to threats. And you know that. You know that just like I do. And he's up for a fight. He's up for a challenge anytime.
Is he? Because I keep saying I want him, but he refuses to wrestle me. I don't get it. But instead, I have to wrestle Pastor CeeLo again.
But do you think it might be because you like to sit at ringside and have your fancy $200 meals and sit and watch things that happen?
They shouldn't have offered the Emperor's package if they didn't want somebody to buy it.
I'll give you that. You've got me on that one. But that still does not
because I want
allude.
to take the day off of a show. I'm the bad guy.
Carson, you didn't take the day off of that show. You actually got involved in that show.
Dante he was wrestling AG. He threw AG into the table. I had not touched him because had I touched him, he would gotten DQ'd. He didn't get DQ'd. He threw AG into the table and got me involved. But why am I being punished? I'm sitting in my car at a red light, and a man comes up to me with a gun, and I'm in trouble for shooting him. That's insane.
Have you ever heard the term guilty by association?
I don't associate with Dante Casanova.
No, but you associated yourself outside that ring to make your presence known to intimidate him, and he was sending a message to you, sir. I think it got received loud and clear.
Look, it's not my fault men are intimidated by me, first off.
And if you're not, let Mr. Drake cash it in. Don't protect him 4 or 5 times. Let the man simply cash in his briefcase.
I know me and EC3 have our problems. We've been going at it since the first time I got to Exodus. But maybe after I win the NWA Midwest Heavyweight Championship, EC3 can wrestle me for it.
Carson, I know that you're a businessman, an international businessman, and you have your own business that's working through your pro wrestling tees, and you are all the time trying to get people to buy your merchandise. And you even got some new stuff that's over there. You've got some I Hate Carson Drake shirts. You've got I Take Candy from Babies. You got the Ha 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 It's Me. You've got several different versions of that, and you got the money that's going on here.
Most of my merchandise is now on nationalwrestlingalliance.com /the shop. But that is some, I forgot that even existed actually. But yes, that is up there.
Well, tell us a little bit about it because especially this fun one here after you try to defend yourself. I Take Candy from Babies.
Do you support childhood obesity?
I don't support child abuse.
It's not child abuse. Children in America are heavier and fatter than ever. So me taking candy and sweets and high processed sugars from children, I don't understand how that's a bad thing.
All right, Carson, I'll give you that one. Mr. Howie Chaney, do you have anything, sir?
I don't know what you're thinking, Joseph, but this man has made a lot of sense tonight.
Complete.
Again, it's one of these weird things where I get attacked for nothing. Maybe it's because people don't understand, and that's fine. But I'm a good person.
For nothing. You lie, cheat, and steal your way to the top just about in every promotion. And I got to give it to you. You're one of the smartest and brilliant men in all of professional wrestling. But my God, if you cheated anymore, you'd be Eddie Guerrero remade.
That's not, first off, Eddie Guerrero, super overrated. I actually had a conversation about this. Who was it with? Whoever it was with. Eddie Guerrero, super overrated. But, yeah.
Mr. Drake, I'm sorry the way you're being treated by the person down in the lower corner down there. But I do have one question about this. He keeps on bringing up the pastor breaking the pastor's arm. Did the referee?
He had a dislocated shoulder. It wasn't broken.
Yeah.
Well, he did it to himself.
Did the referee ever disqualify you or tell you to stop because it was illegal?
Did not. Because it's not illegal, first off. So in the rules, the match could have been thrown out had CeeLo given up, and so we'll give him that. Dislocated his shoulder, but he kept going.
I mean, that could have happened any time.
In any other format, he could have punched me in the face and dislocated his own shoulder. And then the match could have been thrown out, and I would have won. But you know what? In Pastor CeeLo, dislocated shoulder, keeps going. That's a warrior.
We have a comment here, and I'd like to hear your...
I bet we do have a comment.
Yeah, and it's from one Bobby Slam, unfortunately. So I would like to hear your response to this. Carson Drake is the Tom Brady of wrestling, deflated footballs and all.
The whole Deflategate thing wasn't real, first off. Isn't it weird how the best always get accused of doing something? So yeah, I will take being the Tom Brady of football or of wrestling because I am the best. And Tom Brady is the best football quarterback of all time. I don't watch football, but I follow it enough to know that. The whole Deflategate thing, don't actually think that was real. I think people just accused him of it. But if if I got accused of things all the times, like Joseph's trying to do, I wouldn't be the best. Or maybe I am the best because I get accused of stuff all the time. Who knows? But isn't it weird? Isn't it crazy that people don't ever accuse guys like name somebody that's not good? There's so
Carson
many. That's the
Drake.
issue. That's not true.
Do the Casanas ever get accused of anything?
No, not saying anything. But you got guys like Gaston LaRue, not good. He doesn't get accused of cheating. He doesn't get accused because he doesn't win. Um, you got guys like there's a towel boy at Exodus. He doesn't get accused of cheating because he's not good. You got guys like Dante Casanova, who's never been accused of cheating, probably because he's not that good. Isn't it weird how the best just get accused of holding other people down or cheating or
Well, Carson, you're not making very many friends here. And I know Pastor CeeLo is going to be out of action for a little bit of time, but he's got a really, really big friend in Pretty Boy Smooth. Are you afraid that there might be some retaliation from the church's money?
I wouldn't be surprised if there is, but again, why would he?
I mean, you heard
Why,
his
like,
friend.
all right, so people hurt my friends all the time.
Your two friends are slime balls.
Listen, if I was PB is a smart guy, okay? He actually has a scholarship grant that he offers out. So he's a well-educated guy. He's smart enough to know not to mess with me. All right.
My,
I
my
don't buy it.
question,
He is a highly intelligent man. He is well educated. He's not stupid. He knows better.
my question is: this is wrestling. Isn't wrestling supposed to be a sport that you hurt people?
I don't even like to think of it like that because I think at the end of the day that there's a camaraderie between us. So with guys like CeeLo, it's honestly a tragedy that happened. I've actually never been injured, which is really cool. But it's honestly a tragedy that happens. And you have some Neanderthals out there that go out and try to kill the guy that they're wrestling with, which I think is wrong.
He's right
Because
here on the screen.
to me, it's a mutual kind of sport. And we all have families. We all want to get home. We all want to go do other things. So when you do have these guys that go out there and they really try to hurt somebody, um, I almost find that deplorable. And it's people like that that should get kicked out of wrestling. Gosh, like who's somebody that's dangerous and tries to hurt people? Like Lord Crew. He's out there. I don't know if you guys follow, CTE and all that, but Lord Crew goes out there and he's decking people. He's throwing spin kicks, unprotected shots all the time. And he just does it. And it's dangerous. And it could hurt people. You have guys like Dalton McKenzie who go out there and they pick dudes up and then he slams them down or he gosh, he dove on me and Silas. That could hurt one of us. And it's guys like that where it's like, what are you doing?
If you're good enough in the ring, it seems like that you wouldn't have to worry about getting hurt.
Do you think when guys fight in the UFC, they go out there and they try to kill or hurt the guy that they're fighting against? No, it's more about winning. You don't, it's these, God, there's so many people out there. Like Dante Casanova, if you watch that, the match at Exodus they just had, he tried to hurt the slime balls. And although, that's a guy like that who's not in control of his emotions, who is in it for himself, and he's trying to hurt them. And it's like they have people to get home to. It's insane.
Mr. Drake, before you hit the ring, is there something, a ritual or a superstition that you have to do before you hit the ring?
No, I usually see a lot of dudes warming up, I kind of just put my cocoa butter on and I just walk out. It's really weird. I've seen dudes, they got the headphones on, they're doing 100 push-ups, 100 squats. I don't even I don't even stretch. I just walk out there.
I bet if you could time it right, you could just pull up, get out of your car, walk in,
Yeah.
do the match, and then you're done.
And if I just showed up in street clothes, it would be better than a lot of these guys' gear. Isn't it crazy?
I've asked a lot of other wrestlers this, and I'm going to ask you this just because I don't want my streak to be broken. And I know you're not going to have the answer to this, but what is your favorite Waffle House meal?
Somebody asked me this a while ago. I haven't.
You probably don't even know what a Waffle House
He
is.
doesn't
if I
eat
had to
with
guess.
peasants like us. I don't know
Well,
why
no,
you're even asking him.
I know it. I know what it is. It's like how do I describe it? I've been told it's like Denny's.
Very
Uh,
much.
It's like
I'm really surprised you knew what a Denny's was, to be honest.
uh, well, I know what Denny's. Okay, funny. Okay, fun story. So there was a Denny's. Where was it? It was like a block away from. I was like 12. There was a Denny's, and my parents got it closed down. I don't remember what happened exactly. It was like a waitress said something, but my parents got it closed down, and then it got turned into something else. So that's why I know what Denny's is. But I was told by the dude. His name's Malcolm. What is he? Because I was like, name a restaurant. And he said Denny's. I said, okay, cool. So it's like a food place. I don't know, probably egg whites and milk. If they sell that egg whites and milk.
I would assume that they do. Um,
Probably that.
uh, Mr. Drake, I'm so sorry, but we have one more comment from Bobby Slam. We'll pull it up, read it real quick. You can comment if you want. Carson is almost always late walking out. He doesn't want to walk away from the mirror.
I'll give him that. It's actually kind of tough. Well, and I actually do I get talked to about it time to time, or I'll lose kind of track of thought because I'll see like my reflection. And other than just the fact that I'm really good looking and I'm looking at myself, I also just try to make sure that like everything's looking good. Like I haven't looked at the three of you this entire time. I've just been looking at myself, and I've been told you're not supposed to do that, but it's really, really hard when you look like this.
Mr. Drake, I don't blame you. I ain't took my eyes off you since you came on here. But anyway, QB1.
Hey, I just have one question for you, and thank you for your time, sir. And we appreciate you being here. And I think Joseph has brought up some good points. You've opened our eyes to some new visions of the things as fans we assume. But I want to ask you about the 10 pounds of gold, the last target, the ultimate target, I think, for Carson Drake, and that is it, Tom Lattimore. Uh, is that the final piece to your puzzle to represent the NWA as the world heavyweight champion?
Yes, I will say I make a pretty big deal out about just making money, whoever makes the most money. But something like the NWA World's Heavyweight title is beyond money kind of measure. Not only if you win it, do you make more money, which is pretty sweet. But winning that also means that you are the best professional wrestler in the world, and it would be amazing to win it and then be able to see people who also say they're the best, and I can just go, no, you're not, because it's me.
Excellent point.
The NWA World's Heavyweight Championship is the title and always has been the title. And if there's one thing I want hanging above my bed on the wall, it's that.
That would be the one trophy you would keep within.
I would keep at my house.
Yes, I would assume. Joseph, I'm going to turn it over to you, and I think your banner has been excellent tonight. But I think Mr. Drake has opened many, many eyes here tonight too.
Mr. Drake, I would have to agree with you. I think the 10 pounds of gold is the premier title in all of professional wrestling. And it's the one that everybody wants to have. And it's eluded so many people along the way. And I think that you adding that to your collection of titles would actually be a complete circle for you and would fulfill your destiny as being one of the greatest in all of professional wrestling. And I do hope that you get there someday. I don't think today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe at 77, who knows, and that's one thing we haven't talked about, but let's talk about this real quick. If anybody out there is looking to book Mr. Carson Drake with your busy schedule, how can they go about doing that, sir?
They can message me on Instagram at Carson_Drake_. You can message me on Facebook. It's just Carson Drake. I mean, I'm the only one. You can also email me, but my email and contact and all that is in my bios and all my work stuff. You can also catch me on Roku every single Tuesday, as the NWA just moved to Roku.
That's correct. And as they're catching you on the Roku channel with the NWA and they can see all your work, all your great body of work that you have, is there a particular match that you would consider your greatest with the National Wrestling Alliance?
I do have a great body. I would probably say the match with me and Tom Latimer, other than the fact that he cheated at the end, I would say it was my closest to becoming NWA World Heavyweight Champion.
Awesome.
Or you can go back. It's on demand. The first episode that ever aired on Roku, me versus Brian Idol for the NWA World Television Championship, which I personally think it's pretty sweet. That's a fantastic match.
I have to ask you about one other person that you may know that has been in your circles before we get off here. And that's Mr. Jordan Clearwater. He's kind of been absent about a year now from the National Wrestling Alliance. We haven't seen him in hardly any action. And I know that he grew up somewhere around you near Huntington Beach. Are you kind of close with him? What's going on? Do you know?
I do not. I don't think I have personally never met him.
That's rough, because I believe you got the title. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe you won the title.
I know he held the NWA World Television title. I've personally never met him. It would be a lot of ego for one room.
True.
But no, I know he did. He did a bodybuilding competition, I believe. But since then, I'm not sure.
Would that be a match that you'd be interested in ever? I mean, think about it. Carson Bartholomew Drake versus the Golden Boy, Jordan Clearwater.
I am interested in one match, and that is it. I'm not one of these people that has a 1 through 10 list of people they want to wrestle. I want to strictly wrestle whoever is the NWA World's Heavyweight Champion.
Great answer, Mr. Drake. Great answer. And on that, I'm going to turn back over to Mr. Howie Cheney. Thank you, sir, for being here tonight.
Father, to honor Mr. Drake's appearance tonight, we are posting the Tom Lattimore match from YouTube at the top of our page, and that's where it's going to set for the next week. If you would like to see Mr. Drake in action, please come to River City Media, as we will post this and pin it, and it will be there for your consumption. Back to you, Howie. Thank you, Carson, very much.
Absolutely.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Drake. Sorry that two-thirds of the host here was understanding what you're saying, and the 1/3 didn't have a clue.
Come on, Howie.
So, Mr. Drake, before we let you go, you have any closing remarks? And your hair looks fabulous.
I know. The only thing I'd really close with is this Saturday is NWA 77 in Huntington, New York. You can either be there or be a loser, whatever. But you can also catch the NWA on Roku every Tuesday. It's also on demand all the time, for those of you that don't know what on demand is. You can also catch NWA on YouTube at National Wrestling Alliance, obviously. Again, My social media handle is Carson_Drake_. Gosh, where else? There's so many events. Hey, that's me. You can also watch NWA Exodus Pro on YouTube. You can also watch the NWA JCP episode where I won the NWA Joe Kazana Southeastern Heavyweight Championship today on YouTube.
You know what? We'll pin both of those matches up, sir. We will double pin at the top to recognize Carson Drake's greatness.
So, Mr. Drake, Mr. Drake, one last question for myself, and then we will let you get out of here. How does it feel walking into a room and all eyes being on you?
It's at this point, it's normal. It's kind of been a thing my entire life. I'm one of those guys that just kind of has that energy where you see him, and you just can't help but go, wow. Pretty normal though.
I think it's, instead of wow, I think it's more like, damn.
Not a big Ron Simmons fan, but I get it.
So, for our special guest, the most successful man in the NWA, Carson B. Drake. For Joseph Hughes, for QB1, I'm Howard Chaney. This is still real to me. Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Good night, guys.